And welcome, friends. You have once more found yourself at Darkeport, Curse of Strahd edition. Always comes out a little differently each time.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
So, shout out to our sister stream, Constructed Chaos, out there doing their thing. Excellent.
We're doing it for everything today.
With excellence. It's just gonna be a gothic horror chorus, all day. All day. So, thank you, Alex, Morgan, rest of the Chaos crew, for being right alongside us on this crazy journey. Speaking of, well, we have, of course, Briarwood Candles. We have our lovely seduction going on over here.
Seduction.
We will see how people feel about that by the end of the campaign.
Oh, God.
How lovely that is or not.
Feel seduced.
It's been so for us, we've been away from the table for a hot minute, so that gets to really collect.
Bringing us back.
It's bringing us back. Scent is a pretty powerful thing. It's one of the reasons you want to try those candles out. It's good times. It's really good. That one's particularly delicious.
I'm feeling very seduced.
You're feeling very seduced? Okay, good. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. And normally we would do a journal entry here, but I'm going to elect to do a longer kind of recap, both for the players and for our faraway friends who have seen it. So this group, which still does not have a name, which consists of 6 people, actually at this point 8 people. Let's just quickly go around and remind everybody who your characters are.
Oh, hello.
I'll start with you.
I'm Farron Mock, a delight of a person.
Absolutely.
A half-elf sorceress. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just
That's all you need to know.
just quick for now.
Just watch for the rest.
For now. Justin.
Okay. Justin playing Durgan Oakenshield, playing a life cleric of the Morning Lord, also known as Lathander.
There you go.
You.
Kenzie.
Okay, I am Artexia Silverfrond. I am a wood elf druid. And, I'm a very selfish person.
It comes and goes.
It comes and goes.
I think it
And
comes
to
and
the
goes.
point.
Yeah.
And I am Melissa. I am playing Gira of Glanjigani, who is a female half-orc, and from a very different kind of background, but the same world as our team.
That's a good point. So in this story, everyone comes from the same world, because that's not always true in Curse of
yeah.
Strahd. Depends on where they're getting collected from.
And she's got her battle axe and her halfling friend Finny,
And we have,
all she
right.
Finny!
So we have,
Is thriving.
who is not dead.
who is not dead. No, in fact.
Who did not
As a
die.
reminder,
So we have.
did not die.
Can I put these?
Not
put these
dead
out?
yet.
Oh no, because I don't have his figurine yet. Okay.
I think I'll go
Fair
for
enough.
it.
So in the initial party who got abducted, you have Finny, the aforementioned Finny, who's a rather crazy, fun-loving halfling.
Who's a question mark?
He has a
He's a grown person, but is really short and is literally a child.
and he has a penchant for larceny.
It's a hobby.
He's a hobby. So he's a much like Gira is a real estate agent of exotic places.
And on your left, we have Fireplace.
Finny is a mobile lost and found unit. And then you also have the former professor of necromancy, Morgathy. Morgathy the Magnificent,
Fan
darlings.
favorite Morgathy.
And he has been dragged kicking and screeching into this world, and has moments of heroism and moments of intense selfishness as well. Kind of fits the theme here.
Yep.
And then the 2 natives of Barovia that you have collected are Ismark, so-called Ismark the Lesser, Ismark Kolyanovich, who is kind of trying to fight the good fight. His father, who is the burgomaster, essentially mayor of the village that you just left, has been very recently killed. And now he sees that there's no possible future for what little remains of his family. And then finally, you have a rather remarkable young person, not quite a child, not quite an adult, in the form of Sasha Kolyanovich, his little brother, whom I would say out of the whole group, Artexia has probably had the deepest interactions with.
He's a great artist.
Art bonding. Yeah.
We're really about right, and so he dreams of a dawn that can only be dreamt in Barovia, and has tried to make pictures of it. So y'all learned that there was an oracle of sorts called Madame Ava of the Vistani. And you have decided as a group that's probably your next best stop, but eventually you're trying to make it to the large population center here in Barovia, which would be the city of Vallaki. And then the last thing I'll say is y'all are not very far out of the village, and you have already been attacked by some quite unusual wolves who had some who I believe, yes, you killed the male alpha, and then there was a female leader who was not pleased with you, Artexia. You're making friends fast.
Did she run off though?
Oh, she did. She did, for now.
Not in a pleased way.
But we did knock their pack down quite a bit.
Badly. And Ismark got savaged, though, during that. He almost could have died, got bitten.
Almost lost a leg there.
And, but managed to survive with a little help from the life cleric, I believe. And now...
They will be doggedly pursuing us.
And now, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dad
I like
damage.
it.
Right
I
off
like
the
Little
bat.
dad damage. Right.
Little dad
Hurts.
So there we are. And now, friends, we begin the tale in earnest. So we have a little candle, yes.
Oh, we got a big
In
kid.
fact, candle of tales.
Prior with candle seduction, tales, lighting.
So different from the other table.
Seduction.
Don't say.
Consider yourself seduced.
There's no fight.
Hush it.
At the other table, there's no fighting it, so you just have to, throw yourself into it. And this table, it's a hush falls over the crowd. I love the difference. Okay, what are y'all doing as you're picking yourself up off the grounds? And Ismark, gosh, I should have, because it has been a second. I'm trying to remember exactly what the last moment was with him and his injuries. Gira, do you remember?
I will.
He kind of rallied after getting healed by you,
Yeah.
and then knocked down one of the wolves in front of him. I think he had 2 wolves in front of him, so he knocked down one of them. And
He's
then
up.
Yeah. No,
somebody else got the other one.
he's functional. I was trying to remember what the last time Banshee should have gone.
I don't think there was anything super specific.
Okay.
I'm going off memory from a month ago, so
He's I'm gonna say that his leg is kind of tender, and if there were any thoughts of trying to push to Vallaki in one day, those are soundly gone now, because he's gonna want to.
he's not going to be able to walk that far.
Not that far. Do you want to? So you're at this kind of last step before you get into the true hinterlands of Barovia. You're at this bridge. I will read this. Just a reminder. So you're now at the river Ivlis. Ivlis, and this river flows as clear as a blue winter sky through the valley. It's roughly 50 feet wide. Doesn't seem terribly deep though. So at points you could certainly ford it, and you're at one of those points. However, you don't have to do that because there's an arching stone bridge that spans the river. And presumably that's where you're going to go. And this now takes you out of the grasslands and firmly into the thick, kind of tangled woods of Barovia, although there does still seem to be a clear road through here.
Did the wolves completely disappear, run off?
Yeah, they're gone.
Okay.
They were after you killed one of their 2 leaders and decimated the pack. They were done.
Yeah, we probably would collect ourselves where we're at, make sure everybody can actually walk, and then start moving. Would be my guess.
I feel like a fool for not have adjusted my tactics. It's one thing to fight a man, it's another thing to go with dogs or wolves in this case.
Lad, let me check you. Make sure you're okay for a while.
All right, I won't say no to that, priest. Make a medicine check. I'll say since you have time and luxury, you can't roll less than a 10 on this.
14. is what I rolled. So
Okay.
it is
You actually rebalance a little bit of his gear, Justin.
it's an 18 total.
Yeah, you rebalance some of the gear to help him walk a little bit better. And since you're fine, you might even take like, I don't know, some spare bolts or something from him, or some of his water or something like that.
Gira would probably come up to his injured side, so he at least has something to lean on while Durgan's looking at the wound.
Okay.
So she would walk up. Lean on me while he looks.
You know, you're going to inculcate bad habits in me, Gira Blanchagani. I may let my guard drop more often in the future. And he puts
As long as it's not against wolves.
Yeah. And he does gratefully lean against you. Do you want to take a short rest here, or do you want to press on?
Farron's gonna walk out to the middle of that bridge.
Okay.
She's not crossing it, she's just walking right in the middle of it and then just staring out at the running water. She's not paying attention to or being a part of this whole Ismark healing moment.
Okay.
Am I still a wolf?
You had been.
You got knocked down out
You
of
were
it.
forced to drop it?
You got
Yes.
knocked down out of it, and then did you shift back into one?
No, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think you ever took time or had time to do that.
So you have one wild shape down.
Okay. Alright.
I think we ended the last session with, and combat's over.
Yeah,
Bye.
that was pretty much. That was pretty much
So this
it.
is
Yeah.
like right after.
I don't know what the appropriate skill would be, but like just maybe do an assessment of how defensible this place would be, because we're about to walk into what is looking like a lot more.
You can't even see. Yeah, you can't even see like 100 feet.
It might be better just because at least here we can see things coming if we're going to stop for a while.
It is, and there are really only two ways to approach from where you're at, basically from the village or over the bridge.
Well, I'm about to say, what if we
Moved onto the bridge?
got onto the bridge and just protected both entrances and just stayed right on that bridge and kind of sat down and napped?
Works for me.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Sasha, concerned for his older brother, is kind of checking him. Sasha watches your ministrations, Durgan, closely. You see him kind of trying to drink it in, paying attention, and watching your hands move, and watch as you redistribute the weight and how you palpate the patient and all of that. Those bright, clear, high amber eyes, drinking that in. You move, then the party kind of just via consensus decides you drift over toward where Farron is at in the middle of the bridge, and then sit down. Gira, how badly injured are you?
I'm not.
At all? Yeah, you didn't take any damage at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She doesn't need the rest, but if everybody else needs a short rest, then she will keep watching probably both directions. Because now this is a good spot. Only 2 open sides.
What time of day is it?
All that happened, traveled for maybe another hour. Almost said torch because of the other table. So you're coming up on high sun, which just means more gray light. But you still have most of the day ahead of you. You still have the bulk of the day ahead of you. Okay, so you're kind of rotating through. Watch one side, watch another. Does anybody else want to be on high alert while the rest of the party rests?
Vinny probably has too much energy to sit down, so he and I will just swap sides.
Okay. Oh, he likes that. So he's running back and forth.
Yeah.
Wee, tag, you're it.
Yeah.
And-
If there's railings, I'm sure he's running along the top of one of the railings.
Then they kind of crest out at some point. Hey, Gira, lift me up. And he jumps on you and he wants you to boost him up so that he can run on top of the
She'll do that. I bet they've done that before,
Sure.
because it is like with her height and arm height, and like even like having him
can get
stay,
a pretty-
he wants to balance.
Yeah,
So it's almost like a trick that they've done that before. And then he actually has a pretty good view and
he does.
can see farther.
That would be, what is that for you, Finny? Oh, that's a 23. That's pretty good. So you're one-handing pressing the 40-pound halfling, and he's kind of woo. He's like woo. He puts in an extra little shake in there to make it harder on himself because it's too boring and easy.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
like, look at me, and he starts look, Ma, no legs. And He has both of his hands out and his left leg out now, and he's balancing on it. It's like, Gira, turn the other way. But I'm gonna turn. Okay. I want to look. I'll look that way up the bridge, and then you look down back at the village.
Okay, but don't forget to actually watch.
Oh, I see everything. I see everything up here.
Farron, while all of this is happening, just is like, I'm not in the mood to be crowded, and attempts to like walk off the bridge onto the opposite side that we haven't been to yet, and kind of shoulder checks Gira as she shoves by them while Finny is balancing.
Gira, make either a sleight of hand or athletics roll.
Let's see.
The scene from Empire Strikes Back where Luke is balancing everything and levitating it, and Yoda's on top of him, and then comes to mind.
Do you have a preference? Because even the lowest number is like a 22.
She does well regardless.
Okay.
Athletics, it makes it a 24.
Okay. So you handily adjust for this, and you see actually something pass on Morgathi's face, and Morgathi.
I was actually going to ask if he's taking the time to read the book while we're sitting here.
Read your dang book.
He might have started picking at it, but he turns, and once Farron does that, he actually stalks after her. All right, look, you were crowing about how ineffective I was.
Ha ha, crowing, very funny.
Mm-hmm. And he could have cracked his little skull over there. What is eating you up that isn't a wolf?
No due respect, Morgathi. Fuck off. I've made it clear I want to be alone right now, okay? Can I just have a fucking moment to myself?
Well, we don't have that luxury here, darling.
When's the last time you fucking burst into a fucking bunch of birds, all right? Can I just collect myself?
My magic isn't a chaos storm. We all have our little issues going on over here.
I didn't ask for this magic, okay? This is how my life goes.
What in life have we asked for, really? We could all make that same claim.
Finny's fine. I knew he wasn't gonna fall.
Did you?
No, and you know what? If he did, honestly, at this point, we're all fucking wolf meat, so who gives a shit? Leave me alone.
I always wondered who was going to be the first to break. He turns around, now I know. And...
So I have a question. I have one more shift. If I shift into an animal and I go to sleep in that animal, does it still restore my animal shiftings?
It would. I think the maximum... No, because you can stay shifted long... That is... Damn, Kenzie. That is really smart.
I want to do.
Do you realize that I have vets because I'm running this as a home game as well right now?
I don't think I've ever heard that question
I have
either.
very good tactical vets who have not thought of that.
Look at you. I've been playing games for a long time.
They're not me.
Yes, because Wild Shape is not actually a spell; it is a spell-like effect, and you would not have to be awake. I would say.
Okay, so knowing that now, this bridge is cramped, and I'm going to turn into a kitty. And I roll into a little ball, find my spot. And that's what I do.
It would just last the 1 hour.
Yeah.
And then it would
That's all
just
she
end.
needs. But that's all she needs. Sasha's like, ooh. And now that he sees his brother is okay, but just resting, he actually goes over and he feels Sasha just like tenderly petting you. He puts his head next, like next to yours, and kind of curls around you, and is just and like lightly dozes there with you.
That's so cute.
And it's about as good of a resting point, not just tactically, but there is a certain soothing element to hearing the water just rush. And now that the violence is over, there is a kind of, I mean this spiritually, not physically, because it's for its source line, but there's kind of a Tser beauty that's there where, yeah, things are awful and blasted, but like this is a moment of respite and rest, and the hour passes uneventfully.
I think the only other
Wow.
thing Gira would do is say refill water skins, since the water's cool and clear.
Oh, well, you have the time. You have the chance.
And
That's a good
yeah,
idea.
she and Finny, she would kind of make it a game with Finny, so he's helping.
Okay. Yeah,
Find
he's
all the water skins.
make a Gira, make a insight check.
Do we all have water skins? Or
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
a sin
everybody's
that you
got
have,
Right.
like,
one.
if you have
Total
food, if
water.
you have food, you're gonna have
Oh
some.
my god, I got a nat one.
Angel.
Okay. I will write that down.
Oh God.
Great. Who was I inciting at
On a
least?
great start.
I'm not gonna tell you.
I don't even know who I was inciting, but I did it terribly.
Did not incite that.
You're
I
having
incited so bad, I don't know who I was inciting.
you have a delight. You and Finny have a delightful time
Filling up water.
filling up the water skins. He tries to splash your face with it, and of course you know his tricks, but he knows that you know. So it's kind of like this just ridiculous little game where he's like, Gira, look, I think I see something moving in the watch. That kind of ridiculousness. And then Artexia almost just naturally synced up. You're stretching your cat legs out. Sasha stretches his little arms out at the same time. And he gives you, just before you turn back into an elf, he gives your cat self a little like a little head bunt on the top of your head.
Nuzzle, if you will.
A little muzzle.
A little cat nap.
But can we keep her? And Ismark laughs a little bit and shakes his head.
I shake and I shift back in the middle of y'all saying this. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Can you teach me how to do that? That's amazing. I would be a butterfly,
Aww.
a squirrel, and...
Do they have those things here?
And he starts, you ask, and he says, well, they're hard to find, but I have seen, that's what these are called, no? And he touches,
yeah,
because
the
he has
butterfly
those like
earrings.
beautiful butterfly jeweled earrings that are like small, but and then you see him kind of get shy and blush and turn away. Ismark says, sorry about that, comrades. I'll just, yes, all right, I'm ready. Thank you. And he pushes up. All right, you go on. It's right around, I'll say noon now. And so you get to see the Barovian day in all of its glory, which is not impressive.
Beautiful.
So still night, right? Basically.
It's like, it's light enough now that you can read, but about the brightest it gets is like the very, maybe an hour before dusk or something.
Okay.
And that's like noon. That's like high noon.
Okay.
So the shadows it's still foggy. The shadows are still kind of funky and weird and long, and you're just, you're realizing now, because now you're out and you don't have crazy combat going on or whatever, that, this is going to be life. This is just life now. So at least, until and unless you get out.
Delightful.
I look up to the sky and I'm like, do you guys think we'll ever get out of here?
I'd like to think so.
Of course we are. We're all going to make it home, and then we're going to get to see Ice's End, and, the elves are going to get to see her wisdom, and yeah, it'll be good. Garrett, does her wisdom ever see halflings and half-orcs?
I do not know.
Okay, well, we'll find out.
That'd be a question for an elf friend here.
Does your matriarch ever see halflings and half-orcs?
Actually, she does.
Oh, see? I told you. Yeah, we'll go home. And whoever is keeping us here will just punch him in the snout, and that'll fix it.
I mean, she does see them, but are you being serious? They just told us no one has ever left this place.
Well, we're not no one. We're us.
His hope gives me like a twinge of like...
We'll figure it out.
Pain, but happiness at the same time, and I like turn, and I let y'all keep doing whatever.
And you remember that any halfling, so halflings are these like crazy fearless folk, And any halfling who's been traveling, willingly leaves the Shires and has just been traveling for years is an outlier's outlier.
They're always the optimistic ones.
So,
By a long shot.
So he just, he's kind of going. He's playing, because unless you took it back from him, he's keeping the silvered short swords. He has 2 short swords now. And he's kind of doing the Gensu cleaver thing in the air.
Yeah, hold it for now. I have it.
All right. Let me see if my aged eyes can correctly follow this here.
So that was a long rest or short rest? That was short rest?
So
okay. So I don't get to switch out, I just have them restocked.
Yeah, you have your wild shapes.
Your wild shapes.
You have your wild
Wild
shapes.
shapes come back though. That's nice.
And if anybody else was damaged in that, I don't... do you still have some damage?
I think so.
Over? You could also have expended a hit die
I think she was only like 2 down.
if you want to.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I had like 2. I'm not.
You were just scratched a bit because it bled
Yeah.
over from your form. Do you want to use a hit die? Spend a hit die during that rest?
What is that?
So basically on a short rest, you can spend, so you're 3rd level right now, so you have 3 of these to spend because it goes
Okay.
with each level. And you can basically do like a mini regen or a mini heal, but you don't have to. You'd roll the same as what you
Nah.
roll for hit points. No, you're fine?
Nah, I'm fine.
Okay. Unfortunately, Ismark.
Tis but a scrap.
Unfortunately, Ismark does not have second wind, so he can't just. He can't just.
I'll just turn into another
do
animal
something
and
like
take
that.
their health. I'll be
Is he-
fine.
So the 1 power, I mean, 2 meta here, but the it only works up to half hit points. I assume he's
No, he's over
much
that.
better off.
He's over that. He's over that right now.
Yeah, Gira would be checking in with him.
Yeah. So
Kind of in between.
about another, assuming y'all set off down this delightful trail, you kind of have
Yellow Brick Road?
some fog. What's that?
At my
Yellow Brick Road?
The Yellow Brick Road, right?
my brain went there too.
The mud, yeah, the mud spattered, foggy road.
Yay.
About 40 minutes later or so, give or take, not so, more than half hour, less than a full, you round a bend
We're off to see the oppressor.
and you see
Hopefully not.
an old wooden gallows creaks in a chill wind that blows down from the high ground to the west. So you are starting to creep. You are starting to creep up, like in altitude. You're starting to.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
slight grade.
The air is getting thinner, in other words.
A little bit. You haven't gotten too far up there, but it's getting there. A frayed length of rope dances from its beam. The well-worn road splits here, and a signpost opposite the gallows. So you're looking at essentially where people would be hung from. Points off in 3 directions: Barovia Village to the east, Tser Pool to the northwest, and Ravenloft/Valaki to the southwest. The northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, while the southwest fork clings to an upward slope. Across from the gallows, a lone wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves shrouded in fog. And as you are, you don't need to roll for that. In that plot with the graves, it looks like there are a dozen or so graves there with blank headstones.
There's no names or anything.
No names, but they do look, but they do look like they're currently occupied.
Do they look to be adult graves, or are they once again a bunch of smaller?
These range, but most of them look adult size. There might be 1 or 2 kind of younger, no outright children in there, but maybe like young teen.
And you're saying there's like a fog or a mist around it, but like an unnatural, like this is all clean here, or just like for color? There's fog around.
Basically, unless I specifically say otherwise, there's always kind of a bit of fog in Barovia.
So it's not like a noticeably larger
The,
amount.
Is this
the
like
adventure just
distance fog?
The adventure just hammers
Pounds
at
it.
home, right?
Yeah. Like with the always fog that we can just assume is there, is that like, okay, I can see like a half a mile?
No,
for
you can
sure.
still, you can.
Maybe
The
a couple
fog is
miles.
not. The fog is not what's going to get you here, Melissa. It's more the dense forest, and then just how because this road is by this road is by no ways a straight road. I mean, this is just wandering all over. If you
Curvy
look at
and in a forest.
How dare you call her by her government name? What the heck?
my apologies. Yeah, so if you look even, and this is even a cleaned up version of it, but like you guys are woo, you know, and you're probably
It's
about
the family circus route through the forest.
yeah, and you're probably oh my god, that breaks
I know, right?
that just brought me back. Wow. And then y'all are see. Oh yeah, actually it does have it here. You guys are like here, the crossroads.
River Evelus Cross.
And then you see this little. It is a road, but like it's a smaller trail that leads off. Can you see it? I know it's kind of hard to see.
That's where we're at right now.
It's this little dotted line.
Yeah, you're on the river, and then the dot is right here, and this is the gallows. That structure.
I want to stop and take the time to actually investigate the graves.
I'm sorry, I cannot see.
No, do it. Do you see?
Oh, okay, I see it now.
Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just trying to collect information
I love you,
from all of
Okay, sorry.
the graves and gravestones. I know the gravestones are blank, but I want
But
to.
you'd been doing that earlier, even at the other grave. Go ahead and make an investigation check for sure.
24.
Okay. It clicks. So 24. As you're looking with a fresh mind and looking at these blanks, you realize what you were groping for in the graveyard finally slides into place. They have some sort of naming system here where the names, the surname basically comes from the father before. So you so it morphs with every. I'll get into more detail later on, but basically
Like the Vikings.
it more yeah, actually much like that. So basically every generation morphs somewhat, and you're not exactly sure on. You haven't seen enough examples yet to know like all the permutations on it, but you're beginning to understand. It strikes you as like oddly cyclical, how it just kind of enforces the spiritually and socially, honestly, like incestuous nature of this place. So this is a sealed system, you know, and you can see how maybe in 10 generations you wrap all the way back around, you know, sort of thing. And as that's coming into clear focus, your eyes also, because you're looking everywhere, your eyes also happen to see there's a fallen log off to one side, and you see some sort of bundle that's been stuffed into the log, which would have been impossible to see from the road because of the angle.
She'll go over there.
Okay. It's just right on the other side of these graves. And Sasha says, Farron, don't go too far. But you're like right there.
Hey, what you doing?
And you see
Something in here.
and you see this leather. It looks like somebody took a piece of hide and rolled something up in it and then stuffed it into the log.
Go be there just to, if nothing else, kind of support her in case something goes amiss. I mean, this place seems like it's prone to do that kind of.
Oh yeah, no, something could go sideways instantly. Sure.
I'll
Okay.
make sure I've got the shield in hand.
Okay. Ismark gives you a look, but seems content to.
She'll stay near the main group.
just hold the-
She'll look at Finny and be like, Finny, keep your eyes open.
And
She's gonna reach and grab it.
it's soft. Whatever's inside is soft like cloth. Do you want to do the bundle?
Yeah.
Okay. You're looking at what looks like a woman's clothes, but drab, well made, but completely unremarkable. And your gut tells you, because I'm still letting you, this is still part of that 24 investigation. So your gut tells you that this is local, and you feel like this is the kind of thing that a woman might have stashed away a change of clothes if she wanted to appear as something else. And then right back here. For what reason, or all that, just indeterminate at this time. But you have, and it looks like probably it wouldn't fit Gira. It'd be a little bit big on Artexia. These clothes would fit you perfectly. And probably, yeah, and maybe even Sasha. How tall is your character?
5'2".
Yeah, 5'2". So Sasha's a little bit taller than you. So yeah.
She's just gonna wrap it all back up and shove it in her pack.
Okay. All right.
Coming with me.
Put down like nondescript.
Nondescript women's clothing.
Yeah.
Nondescript and drab.
Yep. And you also have like this could even double as
At least it's well made.
like a good stalking, like a good hunting or stalking outfit or something, because it doesn't stand out against the fog. Actually, quite the contrary.
Nice.
Like a
You never know when we might want to
And you see this.
blend in a little better with everyone else,
front of
and
you.
also
That's true.
maybe it was left here for somebody to pull some tomfoolery. So
it's true.
It's pretty well
gonna
hidden.
interrupt their
I
tomfoolery.
must say, I
Pretty
mean,
well hidden.
it
Yeah.
was valuable enough to be hidden, so there's probably something useful in it.
Okay.
When I make just to see if there's any tracks in an immediate spot right around
That's
us.
a good idea. Go ahead and make a survival check. Because tracking is survival in this
I'm
game.
going to pray for guidance.
Okay. You feel the
Thunder.
morning lord. Oh, go ahead.
Help me see the unseen.
A bit of his presence.
Wow.
Natural 20,
Natural 20. Okay.
and then 1 on the.
And then a 1. Okay.
And
Awesome.
Gaia is with you.
we are looking at
He's like, that's not who I was asking.
24, 25.
But
That
you
was
get
natural
Gaia
25.
as well.
You know what? It never
That's
helps
the
to have
20,
multiple
more than
gods
one god
boosting
shows
you
up.
up, you know?
Okay. So this group, unlike the home group, does not have a ranger, which is real sad ones because you would have learned all kinds of ridiculous things with that roll. So even though it was a nat 20, I'm still thinking of, you can only find what was conventionally, findable, because they have the ranger stuff like some weird kind of psychometric skill or something where they can like tell all kinds of stuff.
And they were wearing blue.
Years later, I mean, kind of.
Yeah, they wear blue.
Kind of. But still, you have this moment of extraordinary clarity. And as Farron's words echo in your minds about shenanigans or tomfoolery, you see light steps. I mean, whoever was here, she was trying to not be seen and not leave any evidence of her passing, with like a 22 maybe. But you catch it nonetheless. There's nothing remarkable about the tread, except that you can follow the tread, and then in the same soft kind of peat, that she was walking in and trying to get to harder ground, it just vanishes.
Do I see different kinds of footprints?
No, it just stops
Okay.
all of a sudden.
Okay.
And Gira,
Curious and
Yeah.
curious.
She might be close, one might say.
We rolled really well for that little spot right there.
Ismark says, Gira, are you seeing that? And he looks over to the gallows.
Lordy.
She'll follow wherever he's looking.
You hear a creaking noise coming from the gallows. Where there was nothing before, now hangs a lifeless gray body. The breeze turns the hanged figure slowly, so it can fix its dead eyes
Picturing that scene out of the.
on you.
Oy.
And you are looking at a hanged, lifeless Gita of Glen Shikani.
What?
I told y'all that was an illusion back in that dungeon. They can just do this shit. They can just do this to us. It's all a trick.
She'll
to be
narrow her
scary.
eyes at
Okay,
it.
you actually do hear.
Because she's
Ismark.
already seen her corpse once.
He didn't, though. Ismark didn't. He
Yeah.
doesn't know about that yet. So you hear him suck breath in, and then, and he
She'll
gets up.
grab his arm and stop him.
All right, what? It's an abomination. Whatever it is.
I do not think it is real.
And
Seen this thing
Sasha's eyes are like wide as saucers right now, and his.
I've seen this trick before. But someone might use this for a trap.
Yeah.
There you go. That works.
Right to it. Okay.
Yeah, as soon, yeah.
Dissipate.
Just gone with the breeze.
This person thinks that they're clever.
I don't like even the jest, even the suggestion of seeing you like that. It's wrong.
Don't recommend the Durst Manor then. You might want to stay out.
The Durst. Oh, all right. You went there.
Hey,
Friends, we need to press on.
wait, what do you...
This is an ill-omened place.
Agreed.
Okay. And you leave with your bundle, unless you.
We think we found some traces of a woman. The tracks disappeared, though.
Now Morgathy kind of perks up, looks over.
Gear will perk up too. She
Do
knows how to
tell.
track.
Not sure there's much to tell.
He comes over and
Where did you see tracks?
Over where we were investigating, we came across what looked like some light footsteps. Whoever it was didn't want to be seen. But I
Show-
followed them for a short trek and
show me the
just
spot.
disappeared.
And Morg trundles over there, sachets over there, just kind of looking around.
Farron's gonna take back out the clothes. She's like kind of holding up the garments to see the size.
All right.
Do they look like they might have fit Ludmilla?
She's too tall.
Too tall for her.
She's too tall. Yeah.
She's gonna hold them just so everyone's kind of seeing a visual representation of what might have made such tracks.
No, I have to say, dwarf, as he kneels down and doesn't quite touch it because he's too disciplined, but his fingers are right over there. I don't think I would have seen this. Huh. This, she either arcane gated, misty stepped, or then he looks it over at Artexia. Transformed?
That was my thought as well.
And he looks around. There are no trees close enough for her to have leapt to, even if she was extraordinarily strong.
And it didn't look like there's nothing pushing down on the earth that said that she'd leaped.
What about a bird? I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes people become birds.
Gear's gonna look for any other tracks in the immediate area, and then a 30-ish foot.
Okay. Then he says, I want to play too. Don't hog up all the fun, Gira of Clan Chicani. And so he starts whatever you do. He's mimicking you and looking around. So with advantage, go ahead and make a tracking roll.
All right, Finny of Clan Tiny.
Don't you forget it.
Plant tight.
I feel like that's an old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
back
yeah.
and forth.
19.
Wow. Okay. Roll just in case you get a nat 20.
Ooh. Nope.
Okay. Finny wants to feel included, so you just include him.
Okay.
Anyway. What's the total for you?
19.
Total 19. Oh, sorry. Okay. So that would have been.
Yeah, it was a 15 plus 4.
I'm going to give that to you. That's tied.
Proficiency,
Yeah. Yeah.
if it matters.
Yeah. No, it does.
Take everything.
It does. So on the very edge of kind of your ability to discern, again, you see somebody who was had a pretty light tread, carefully pick her way. You can't, unlike him, you can't see every step because it was marginal. But you see her having made her way carefully through the crypt, intelligently, knowing to step onto the more firmer ground. But then you can almost kind of see the psychology of it, and you're tracking this too, Justin. You can where she makes the decision that she'd rather stuff the clothes in the hidden hollow and risk the slightly softer peat than to put it in a more obvious place. So apparently she really liked this graveyard for whatever reason.
Okay.
Because there are many other places she could have gone, but she wanted it to be at that spot. And
Were those the tracks leading up to
Up to
the
it,
log? Then can we follow anything away from the log?
it vanishes.
Interesting.
You wouldn't have been able to find the ones leading away, except that Durgan has already pointed them out, and Morgathi's kind of crouched and was looking over them, and then they just up and.
Which direction was she coming from?
In this case, kind of the obvious approach, like the firmer ground. So nominally, I don't know, maybe southeast or something in there. But she could have come from. You're not confident that was the direction she actually came from. You think she just circled around to the best route, because you're assuming she's as smart as you are and would try to conceal herself, to the best of her ability. And then finally, I'm assuming you're going to tell the rest of the group.
Yeah, she'll point out the whole.
Okay. So finally,
She does find out.
Farron, go ahead and make a follow-up investigation roll then.
Oh, that one flies. I don't even know where my die is. There we go. Let's try that again. Oh my god, same exact roll.
Really?
Same exact roll.
Okay. Okay.
So that's another 25.
What's your plus on that?
5. I have proficiency.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, a little jealous about that.
Did you just get you just nat 20'd that?
No, that's a
19.
19. So
Oh, a
it's
19.
24 with the
Oh,
five.
24. I misheard. Okay. I thought you said 25. So, still excellent, obviously.
Plus 5.
Nicely done.
You, with all of this, when Gara points out that how she came up to this place, how it was stuffed, what her process was, you kind of get the feeling that this was a drop-off.
So someone else is meant to.
Probably somebody else is going to come to, hey, go to the, it's going to be hidden, at this tombstone, blah, blah, blah. So, this is one of the few, very distinguishing landmarks that you could, distinguishing landmarks that you could go to. There are a couple other spots, you might have chosen to stuff it under the gallows or something, but this was a pretty good spot.
She'll turn to Ismark and be like, okay, Lesser. Is this a well-known spot? Everybody knows this is here?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. It's kind of hard to miss.
Why would somebody leave these drab, boring garments here? I mean, if they're dropping it off for somebody else, what's the end goal?
Well, I mean, dressed like that, because you showed it to the whole group.
I'm still holding
Yeah,
them up.
just like that, these days, you could probably go in and out of the village without anybody being the wiser. Time was, we knew anyone who came in who was new, but people they've become frightened.
So what kind of people would be sticking out if they entered the village?
Frankly, outsiders. Lestani. Well, you could actually. It's not. There are people who live there are. Forgive me, Artexia, but there are bad druids, too, who would kind of give you a foul name. They tap into the twisted aspects of the land. There are mountain bandits and berserkers who would come in and out, who have some sort of weird cult going on. So there are other people who would want to come in and out, who would do no good for my home or our home. I don't know though.
Is this investigation going to get us any further to leaving or to whatever goal we're getting towards, or are we just getting stuck on a rope?
No, I think Ismark's got the right of it. We do need to keep moving, but it's good to know whoever or whatever might be stalking us.
We're maybe another 2 hours out from the Zerfall camp, so he looks up and...
Are you good to make that trek?
Yes, I'm fine now. I mean, yeah, I'll make it.
She starts stuffing the clothes back in her pack.
Okay. You now know that you've hit the height of light, and it already begins to diminish. Okay. Now you kick off on that northwest fork, and you come up. And I'm assuming I haven't really inquired about the party. Are you going? I'm assuming 2 abreast, probably.
That's probably about right.
instead of ranger file, instead of single file.
Yeah, if the road accommodates.
I heard abreast. That's what I heard.
Side by side.
Oh, is that what you said? Abreast?
Yeah, abreast.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a word,
Okay.
Yep.
not boobies.
It's not 2 words. It's a single word.
Single word.
Abreast.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Smashed together.
They are also abreast.
So
That's a really good way of explaining it.
you're going.
Now we know.
Since
They are
Ismark,
abreast of each other.
since Ismark is leading you all there, I assume. Oh, we got a little blow.
And now we're 10.
I assume that you're going to be up in the front with him. Then.
Yeah.
You and Ismark probably are walking at the front. Ku is taking up the back.
Take up the back.
Okay.
I'll go back there with her.
You and Farron.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm avoiding certain people, and she's for once not really on the list, so we're good.
Okay. You feel the storm cloud radiating from Farron.
Just not talking, just
I sense it, but I also feel I also know that feeling, and I know she don't want to be talked to right now.
Right.
So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay silent and just stay vigilant.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Farron likes her just 0.5% more
Yeah.
that day for not talking to her. She's like, all right, this will work.
And you're well into what passes for afternoon here. A swirl of the fog. You hear some rustling in the branches. You feel like there's some birds who are quite interested in your progress.
Hey, are y'all hungry? And I start to reach for my my scimitar or whatever the fuck, because I don't have anything other than range, right? Oh no, that's right.
You can fry something.
Yeah, I can fry something.
You can.
Yeah. So I
you
start,
can flash
are
fry
y'all
something.
hungry? And I start looking around while we're hearing all these
Hot
things.
and roasted.
Okay. You start looking around, and as soon as do you call up the flame?
Yeah,
Okay.
I already have it up.
As soon as you do that,
Things are hot. And I drop it like, never mind. Let's go.
and as you press on, echoing throughout the forest comes.
That's a fake bird if I ever heard one. That's a fake bird.
That sounds like a person making a bird sound, I swear. Artexia's sharp as attack. You cannot get anything by her.
This is a tough crowd, Farley. Let me tell you.
Instantly, it's not real.
Everything's an illusion. Detect magic.
You hear, Artexia, you have the highest passive perceptions that even though you're at the back of the group, you're the first to hear a soft babbling of water off in the distance. And then as a couple minutes pass by and you're getting closer and closer to it, the road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above. There's a clearing here next to a river that widens to form a small lake. Yeah, it is a small lake. Small lake several hundred feet across. 5 colorful rounded tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Although you couldn't... At this... no, it's still dim enough that you could tell it's lit. Near this tent, 8 unbridled horses drink from the river. The mournful strains of an accordion clash with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a bonfire. A footpath continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest's edge. And remember that you're now, like, you were climbing for a bit, and now you're right at the river level now again. So you've
plateaued.
It dipped
back down.
Dipped back down,
okay.
right? And there is a path that continues, not quite hugging the river, but like it continues in these lowlands. And I'll just say that to kind of help you visualize this and everybody. So you're, if you've come, let's see, they are here. You see this?
We took that
these,
road.
like
Oh, okay.
these little camps.
Side path.
Actually, I didn't. I thought we stayed on the main road.
The shorter road.
Okay.
Makes sense where we're going.
So here, if you continued here, you would be 1,000. So this bridge is super high up.
Okay.
So you're gonna
So we're
have
going back up.
yeah you're gonna have to backtrack.
Is it getting noticeably like colder as we're going up like that level?
Not yet, but you're almost sure it will.
So we can't see very far in front of us, right? Like there's still a lot of smoke. If I were to go up in the sky, would there be a lot of, couldn't see.
Well, I was bad before because we were talking about flying snakes. You are not high enough level yet to have a flying creature.
Oh,
But you will be.
That's right.
Yeah, you will be. That was my bad.
You son of a gun.
I know. I gave you false hope. I'm sorry.
Technically, it's just an eagle. It doesn't say flying.
It's just a stationary
It's just- it-
ground.
it just kind
it's
of-
like a
it just kind of
penguin
crawls.
eagle that
It's
only
a-
stays on the ground.
See? A peagle instead of a beagle. Yeah. It's a peagle and it just kind of waddles about. I love it.
Dear.
Next time I burst into birds, I'll take a look-see for us. See what I can see.
What levels do we have to be for that? Like 10, right?
Higher. No, not that high. There's a chart for that, but I don't know that off the top of my head left. Okay. So Ismark hesitates, looks to you, and he says, I know how to get here, but I've actually never approached them at the camp. You see a couple heads come up. The singing falls off. The accordion stops. And faces look over at you in the distance. Although they don't seem super concerned right now. They're still
Kind of leans over to him. Is this our destination, or was there some falls?
well, the falls are beyond. You can just see them now, like up in the distance, this majestic cresting. Presumably that's where the bridge is gonna cross over when you backtrack and climb your way up. But here the lake is placid, calm, maybe even pristine. And finally you see a strongly built, kind of dark-haired woman look over to you and give you a little tick of the chin, and goes back and chatting. They're not singing anymore, but they are chatting, and someone's just kind of playing with the accordion, making little noises with it, but not really in full flight.
All right, let's keep going.
And
It's time to say hi and make new friends.
Aye, it's not like we're
I
going
think
to be
there's
turning.
food here.
It's not like we're going to be turning back.
are you hungry too?
That's my stomach.
Okay, Ataxia, we're going to find you a little something here, okay?
I'll move forward.
Okay. Who is going to speak for the group? Who's in the
All
front?
right, fine.
Now you're doing your
Have
face
to
thing.
put my diplomat hat on again.
Mommy, please.
All right.
She'll step up with Durgan and we can walk over together.
Okay.
Ismark, come with, just in case we need cultural help.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Okay. He shrugs. Just resigns himself to the situation.
Before we get there, is there something we should know? Who are these folk? Are they more of the Vistani?
The Vistani, aye.
Aye.
They better be. Otherwise, they're probably squatting. Their lives wouldn't be worth very much. So, he says, I suppose the most important thing is to know that every adult there, and perhaps some of the children, can curse you if they don't like you. He says it with a slight smile, but you think he's in earnest.
Classic Barovia.
Let's be likable then.
Lovely people, then.
Listen, you know I can act when I need to.
All right then, hail, the athletic woman says with her long dark hair that's up right now, and she's got pretty intense like chestnut brown eyes. So, friend or foe?
Ave, friends, I presume. I am Farron, pleased to make your acquaintance.
I snicker at her
She looks
waist she's putting on.
looks at you.
She's in the back.
It's interesting. As you roll at disadvantage now.
They're probably walked up with them.
Okay.
Especially since the lady kind of like.
And there
Not
are... Let's see. Oh,
So patriotic.
I should have read this out to you. So you're looking at the 8 horses. You're looking at about a dozen of them who are standing and sitting around the fire, telling stories and guzzling wine. And then you see 3
Nice people.
Wine.
And then you see 3 completely kind of stone cold, sober ones who are who look like they're hanging out on the wagons, but you see they kind of have their weapons at the ready, allowing their comrades to relax a bit more. And the woman that you're addressing, she looks like she's been partaking, but it doesn't look like it's affected her hardly at all, unlike about half of the rest of them look kind of in their cups right now. Well, no, they're too happy for that expression to apply, but you know what I mean. I'm kind of buzzed. She says, Nicola, come closer. Well met, Farron.
Well met.
And the rest of
I'll
your...
come with her.
Okay. The rest of your colorful... Whoa, no doubt you're a big one. Okay.
Hello.
That's,
I am Gira.
pleasure. Nicola. You're not from around here, are you?
We're a bit of an eccentric group.
Andrej, get up. The rest of you lot. Let him sit down. I'm curious now. I'm interested. Do I have to? Yes, go. Come on.
We don't wish to inconvenience anyone.
Oh, it's, nothing's an inconvenience as long as it's entertaining. Come on.
That word. Just clicks a little something in her head.
So a couple of them, oh, come on. I wanted to, one of the Andrej gropes at one of his companions, and she giggles and slides away, and he says, that's fine. I didn't want this log anyway. And he starts crawling after her, kind of like, pretending chasing her, and she boops him on the nose and then darts away, and the two of them go into one of the wagons, into one of the these covered wagons that are there.
You're too kind. Thank you for the hospitality.
Let's see what you say by the time it's dark.
Well, a place to sit is more than welcome at the moment.
It's safe here.
And I'd gladly pay for a smidgen of some food if you had some.
I wouldn't hear of it, especially someone as cute as you. She says, a full-blooded elf woman. You're not a dusk elf either, are you?
I am not.
Where... You're my favorite type, though. You kind of... understanding. It's more interesting that way. Of two different peoples. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can always pick them.
Very observant. And that throws her a little bit because she's not used to people picking up on that so quickly.
This woman, Nicola's like really looking, and again, diplomat, that she's like really sizing the group up right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna take it that this group isn't, that the youngest person here is that pretty little thing in the back, and that's not actually a child, as she looks at Finny. So pretty little thing with Sasha, and then child she's looking at Finny. So you are really not from around here at all.
Hey, that's true.
Are we that obvious?
Yes.
It was a joke.
You are, I know, but it's funnier to be deadpan sometimes.
Fair enough.
She says, you're a dwarf, I think.
Hey, they call me Durgan.
Well met, Durgan. Nicola. Or Nicola, if you like. Either way. Come on. She says, we don't want to be bad hosts. And so the other dozen of them kind of snap to, even though they were cutting up and, I guess 10 now, cutting up and mucking about. As soon as there's an edge of command in her voice, of like command authority in her voice, that you've heard in shamans and chieftains before.
Okay.
So they start moving around. A wine bladder gets pressed into your hands.
I'm also watching her as she's evaluating each person. I'm trying to pay attention to what she's paying attention to.
Make an insight check.
Okay.
She will try to parry that with a deception roll.
See if I can insight this time.
Come on, good. Insight.
Nope, I can't insight. That's a 7.
7? Yeah, no. I didn't roll well, but not that. Really. I'll say that she, Nicola, seems like a cool customer, although you don't sense any immediate menace from her as she's making you welcome. I'm assuming the party's probably going to sit, so they probably drag another... Actually, probably, it's a bit of a to-do, but it's fine. They drag over another log. They had been debating adding it anyway. So they're like, just open the circle up. It's bigger, kind of, even though the text says a bonfire, kind of assumes that you're coming here toward night, so it was earlier on in the day. They do have a fire going, because they're cooking right now.
Farron starts taking out her cooking kit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you guys...
Do they only have
Wants
one
to
fire
show
going,
will
or
help.
like a few little ones?
One bonfire, like one big fire. It's big enough, though, that several of them can cook off of it, as long as they're mindful of each other.
Okay.
And they seem to prefer this. They seem to like being tight
One big fire.
together. Yeah, there is the lit, like, much larger tent. That's there, and the orientation of it... I'll pass this around to you all in a second, but the orientation of the tent... So if you're sitting at the bonfire here, it's kind of at a right angle to you and facing away, so you'd have to get a little bit further up before you could see into it. But you can see the light spilling out. And there's probably like some pheasant. There's probably some tubers they found. There's probably some cooked fish for sure.
Frog legs?
Here. No frog legs. No, sorry.
Darn it.
I'll take the fish.
But you have some. They found some wild thyme that they've cooked. That they've cooked the fish with.
Yeah, Farron's gonna hop in and just start with her cooking kit.
Okay.
Cooking up whatever raw things are there, just
Okay.
trying to immediately start helping and seeming like we're useful and not just mooching off of them.
Since you have the cooking kit, you have proficiency in it, so go ahead and make a cooking roll. I guess we'll base that off of intelligence for now.
Okay. That's 14.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you get on there. You show that you are you're no stranger. You know your way around a cook
Anything
fire.
that gets a little too burnt or something, she just tries to give a light prestidigitation, make it look a little nicer,
just a
little
little
more
nicer.
flavorful,
Okay.
you know.
A couple of the Vistani seem to be split between either looking at Artexia and looking at you, Gara. And they kind of I'll give you one more insight, since you were kind of looking at them, looking at her, but also looking at them as a group. So go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. One more.
Do they give the same sort of side eye to Morgathi and
Slightly better.
No,
her as well?
no.
Well, there are no
Insight?
female elves.
This is insight.
Yeah.
14.
14. Okay. So there is genuine interest in both of you. There is a shade of difference, though. So for you, it's more like, what the hell is she kind of
I'm
thing.
the new thing.
Right. You're the new thing. You doubt they've ever seen a half orc, or if they have, it's not any time recently.
Okay.
With Artexia, and then there's and then individuals vary kind of from there. Once they start sitting around you, they seeing you eat, it's like, okay, no, she's not dangerous, and we're gonna, at least not right now, we're just gonna chill.
Yeah, she's gonna give off a very relaxed kind of.
That's kind of what I'm
vibe.
picturing. Yeah.
She would kind of joke a little bit with them and go, "Oh, I like the music thing. It makes fun sounds."
You mean as he deliberately makes it screech?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like Finny's gonna get a hold of that thing at
I
some point?
Oh, it's coming.
Probably as big as he is.
No, it's coming. It's
He is
coming.
eyeing that thing.
Oh,
like-
no, he's.
Absolutely.
Just
when the
trying to run
treats.
away with it.
You,
and that's why our party gets attacked.
Don't give me
Finny
ideas,
tried to
Justin.
steal the accordion.
Don't give me ideas. No, you know how like when the
Cat with a bag around its head.
when the treats come out and the dog's head whips around, and then just basically anywhere that you go, the dog's head goes. Yeah. So whatever you're saying to him, Finny's like,
Yeah, you're not gonna get him.
and
Gira's gonna focus on being friendly with them and establishing a little bit of a rapport, Because she is seeing similarities. These are nomadic people. She's
Clearly.
nomadic.
Yeah.
And then she'll kind of do this friendly, oh, you've never seen someone like me. Am I a plant? What do you think I am? Like, she'll try to see if they're willing to do some kind of fun little game or something.
If you're a plant, then I want to be a potato.
Oh my gosh.
And you hear
Forward.
you hear a sharp from Ismark next to you. I mean, for seating purposes, you're not making it any better. Slap. One of the women Vistani. So when they look at Artexia, though, it's not just kind of alarm, a little bit of curiosity, and then by individual. All of them are looking at her, and all of them they're covering some measure of fear.
There's meaning behind looking at her. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, and as this scene goes on, they're interacting more and more with you, and more they're looking away from her and kind of, not like
especially
hugely,
when
but
she
there's just
notices that there's
withdrawals.
a fear, like she'll lean into, especially if her joking and friendliness is working with them, she'll try to lean into that a little bit. She's not trying to get all the, she's not like attention whoring or anything.
So
she's just trying to ease whatever's uncomfortable
going on. Okay.
So I'm used to people, obviously I am noble, right? So I'm used to people serving me and wanting to be around me, right?
This is a different.
It's
different
very
vibe.
different, and honestly,
Not living for the vibe.
I really freaking like it, because obviously I've been alone, right? So it makes me feel powerful. While I'm eating, I sense their fear, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and she like
Be afraid.
just stay away, you're good.
She's like, this could be me eating the meat off of your bones, but you don't want to.
And with a single stinging one-liner of, "You're not a dusk elf, you're not a dusk elf, are you? Oh, honey, there's nothing dusky about me, okay?" Yeah.
I was wondering when he would start.
And that's like, okay, and that's pretty much him telling them to piss off.
Yeah.
And he sits down, and then they're just they tolerate him being there. He has another one of those odd moments where he gets closer to Artexia, and then he's just looking at everybody, and there's a hint of like vigilance in Morgathi's stance, like his well manicured hand
He's protective.
is resting lightly. Well, you're at the end of the day, you are an elven noble. His hand is resting lightly on his longsword, and he's just looking at these people, and he's not a fool, so he knows there's some kind of weird vibe going on right now.
Yeah.
And you're badly outnumbered. So, you start drinking together, and Nicholas says, "So what brings you here to beautiful Tser Falls?"
We are traveling. Headed, that direction, as far as I can tell. I don't know. I'm following this guy because, as we said, not from around here.
I give her eye, because I'm like, you're obviously not telling me everything. Why? And we just share a glance, and I let her keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
See what she's going to keep going with, yeah.
And as she's about to ask her next question, that is where we will take our first break.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be a great conversation. Nothing bad could come
All
out
right,
of my
friends,
mouth.
we will be back momentarily, and hopefully you can see us at the other side. Thank you so much for coming this far.
Hopefully. Don't die.
Don't die.
Don't drink the wine.
Eldritch Foundry is evolving. Bringing you a virtual army of miniatures like never before in full tabletop-ready color. Paint your miniatures in our upgraded creation tool, then bring them to life in stunning one-to-one detail as 3D printed miniature masterpieces. With complete control over your digital color scheme, you can point and click for simple color fills or go all in on highlights, shading, brush techniques, and more. Create epic heroes and madness-touched monsters that are truly yours. Miniatures are 3D printed in perfect color detail using a new PolyJet 3D printing process, giving you unique, bespoke models ready to delve into any dungeon as part of your next campaign. Everything from one-off player characters to dungeon mobs and boss-level monsters that will make every player in your group jealous. But that's not all. You can take things fully digital and export into leading VTT platforms such as Tailspire and Roll20 to take your games and your custom miniatures wherever you want. Join the adventure of a lifetime. Back our campaign today to help us bring this stunning revolution in custom miniature design to reality. With Eldritch Foundry, full-color 3D design and printing.
Greetings, weary travelers, and welcome to Constructed Chaos, a channel dedicated to all things D&D, including live play streams and podcasts, 3D printing, painting, crafting, homebrew content, and guides for players and dungeon masters alike. Join our Discord for even more special benefits, announcements, and free downloadable content. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
I am Durgan Oakenshield, born of the steadfast Oakenshield clan of the Iron Hills. Our folk have lived for ages under the rule of the elves in a world where their control keeps peace and stability. Most of my clients sees this as a blessing, a chance to live without fear, to focus on our traditions, our forges, and our craft. They value the safety that comes with the elves' rule, thinking it lets us thrive in a world free of conflict. But I've always heard a different call. The Morning Lord teaches that life is all about growth, change, and renewal. Under the elves' tight grip, I see a world that no longer moves forward, stuck in a rigid piece that feels more like a cage. Life, in all its forms, must be free to change, to find its own path. For me, that's what true peace lies, in the balance of freedom and growth, not in the security of conformity. This view makes me a bit of an outsider in my own clan. While they respect my skills as a hero and my devotion to the Morning Lord, they do not always share my belief in the need of independence. They trust in the elves' peace, and they do not see the harm in a world that stays the same. Some of my kin think me reckless for wanting more, or for questioning the rules that have kept us safe for so long. I ken their caution, but I cannot ignore what I feel deep in my heart. I walk a path that often separates me from my kin, guided by the Morning Lord's light. I do not openly defy the elves, nor do I seek conflict, but I believe that life, true life, must be free to grow, to rise and fall, as the sun does each day. My faith drives me to stand for that freedom, even when it leaves me apart from those I hold dear. In recent years, my journey's been shared with Farron Mock, a sharp-tongued, quick-witted half-elf sorceress with a heart as tangled as a brambled bush. Aye, she keeps me on my toes. We met by chance, and there's so many paths crossing this vast world, and though we're very different, our fates have come strangely bound. It's Farron's inner conflict that pulls me in, makes me wonder just how much her heart can be healed. I am Durgan Oakenshield, a life cleric of the Morning Lord, and though me clan might nae always walk beside me, I'll carry the light of dawn wherever it is needed, for in every heart there's a spark of life waiting to be set free.
I'm Farron Mock. I grew up in Havid, where I existed under the tutelage of my two conflicting parents. My father is an elven sorcerer who gained his power from the Black Moon of Umbra. My mother is also a sorcerer, but she's human, and her power comes from Lucida, the Bright Moon. When I turned 12, I went through the gifting ceremony where I would receive my own powers of sorcery from one of the moons, but something went wrong. Now I exist in a state of division. Half elf, half human, half Umbra, half Lucida. I've never felt like I belonged. And honestly, it's put a pretty big chip on my shoulder. The only person who's ever accepted me for who I am is my dwarven companion, Durgan. He doesn't judge. That's why he's my chosen companion for my trip to Ice's End. While I have to go for my training as a diplomat, I'm really hoping to learn more about the power of the two moons. Maybe then I can embrace one and become whole.
I am Gira of Clan Shigani. My people are nomadic warriors. We follow the food and the fights. We are made up of orcs, humans, and Toka, half of each, as I am. My father is Hawk, a man of the forest, the fields, and the wind. My mother is a Gruma the Fierce, an honored orc warrior of the clan. Courage, honor, strength, skill. This is what it means to be part of the clan. When a young one becomes grown, they go on their gareki. You call it pilgrimage. It is to seek knowledge, skill, or experience to bring back to clan. This is necessary to make clans stronger, better. My gareki focus is weapon knowledge. To become a master fighter and a worthy mate of my heart's choice.
I have the honor of being Artexia Silverfrond, of a lineage that stretches back some 40,000 years. Indeed, my line began with the immortal leader of the elven people, and they came to the world of Hytera. Her title is Her Wisdom. It's not really much to live up to, is it? Thankfully, my grandmother left the capital of Ice's End and sought to return to the ancient ways of the Great Mother, who some call Gaia. She felt the elves of the grand cities had drifted too far from our ancestors' ideals of living in harmony with nature and honoring the Great Mother in quiet daily ways. She was not alone in this. Without any design to do so, she became first a known figure, then a leader of the forest-dwelling community I would come of age within. I've always followed my own path, seeking balance in all things. Each in its season is the beating heart of the understanding of Gaia that I know. I now also know that I am chosen, blessed with power directly from the Great Mother, and it was revealed in the battle for our freaking lives. In this cursed land that is now our prison, that balance is not so easy to see. Here I have only my own blood to remind me of home. What is this terrible presence I sense on the edge of my intuition? Is it the Dreadlord from the letter we found? The Strahd von Sarovich? Or something greater still? Yet another mystery to be solved if we ever want to leave this dreaded place. To die here would be unthinkable, so far away from the mother's embrace. I will walk the forest of my birth once more, even if I must tear my way across the entirety of this alien domain. Lunara Invicta!
Welcome back, faraway friends. The candle is already lit, so I guess everything that we just did was canon.
Yes.
As we just whispered, Strahd. So this table has its own vibe.
Correct.
It's a little creepy sometimes.
It's Curse of Strahd.
No, it literally is. So
So we start doing it.
I can't complain.
He is the ancient. He is the legend.
I expect to walk in here one day
Table
and have a call and
goals.
response going on.
You
Yes.
got it. You got it. Any day.
All right.
No, one of these days you'll walk in and we'll all have dark robes and there will be a few candles lit and no other lighting.
That would be
Even better.
sick.
Even better.
With our heads up, like,
Yes.
members.
And then, yeah, okay.
I'll wear the,
Wait, we need to shut up and make plans separately.
I'll wear the
You're
crimson.
not letting
know
Angel hear
anything more
anymore.
than
I'll just keep a crimson robe down here then with the dragon.
Ready to go.
If we get 5 members off of
Something
this
it anyways,
episode,
then
we'll
we'll
do
do
it.
that.
Excellent.
Join now.
Okay.
Plans have
So-
been made now.
Durgan, you feel a little poke, boop,
What?
and there's you look down and there's an overly inquisitive child, and he's just watching you, and he's like, "You're weird.
My kind of kid.
You have a beard.
Hey, I do. That's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
That's a weird thing to say. Boop, boop. Why are you so thick?"
Oh,
He's like poking
We're
in
just
your
built more efficiently, lad.
This bloody child is
Actually, is
this?
it a girl or a boy?
It's a boy. Yeah, he's.
We're just built more efficiently, lad.
My mom says you're not a human. No, she doesn't. The mom says.
I'm not a human.
And, well, and you're not an elf.
Aye, I'm not an elf either.
Are you a banshee?
I'm a dwarf.
A dwarf?
Dwarf.
A dwarf.
Hey, a dwarf.
A dwarf.
Hey.
Okay, a dwarf.
All right, what am I?
Mom,
I
I found the dwarf. And so now Laszlo from now on is going to say it a dwarf. Okay.
I'm a dwarf.
And his mother, Laszlo, get away from him. Come on now, that's enough. And, Mom, which is like the universal lament. You're in a different dimension and it doesn't matter. It's still, Mom.
Right. I'm Durgan. What's your name?
Laszlo.
All right, Laszlo. Good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you. And he fearlessly sticks his hand out and gives your hand. And actually, like as soon as you do that, he like climbs up and he tries to do the forearm embrace, but his forearm is so much smaller than yours that it's a little bit ridiculous. But anyway, he tries.
He's got that little Kris Kringle smirk in his eye.
Not the Kris Kringle.
And then he goes around and he's like,
big old beard.
the dwarf isn't so
Jolly
bad.
cheeks.
Just hair instead of auburn hair instead of white.
All right, so Caitlin, I want you to make 2 rolls for me.
Oh God. Okay.
I want you to make a persuasion check, and then I want you to make, actually make the insight first.
That's only an 8.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it. Okay, and now make the persuasion check.
Not much better.
I need to succeed. It's more
That
insight rolls on
actually
this
is a
table.
14.
14? Okay. So, Nicola says, well, I don't recognize any sigils. I'm pretty well traveled, too. Been to Neverwinter, been to Baldur's Gate, been all up and down the Sword Coast. I've even been to Lankmar. That was an experience. Don't really, so would you mind filling me in?
Well, as you observed, we're not really from around here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just passing through because actually it was on the recommendation of one of your own kind that we seek out a local oracle. Maybe she could help us get back to where we do belong.
Maybe. And where would that be, sweet thing?
Far from here. I'm not trying to be coy or deceptive. I just don't know how to explain in relation to where we are because I don't really know where we are. But we come from elsewhere and we're seemingly just kind of plopped here. From my understanding, that's not entirely unheard of.
Far from. In fact, our wagons get around. I mean, really around. Too bad you don't have any Vistani blood in you. I'd be able to help you directly.
Not that I know of.
What's the name of the place you come from?
Tara?
Terra. Okay. Who's any landmarks or people that anybody else from Terra would know?
Certainly. Our capital is called Ice's End.
Okay. She glances over and there's a kind of an older, gruff man with the build of a blacksmith who kind of nods, who also believes in beard solidarity. Ice's End.
Unite.
And, okay. Anybody from Terra would know about Ice's End?
Certainly, yes.
Then I could ask them. She seems to relax a notch. Okay. She chuckles a little bit. Doesn't really help much, does it, with the pheasant, the time? And as you're eating it, the food again tastes completely bland, like unnaturally bland. With like a hint, maybe just a suggestion of time.
I did my best to, jazz mine up a little bit. Happy to do the same for you if you're interested.
Actually, yeah, I don't mind. Even though this is home for me, I kind of like, being a traveler. I found that things are a little more spice of life, being variety, and they literally kind of taste better going down. And she offers up her plate.
She tries to think of something like really flavorful that's gonna knock her socks off. She does like a sweet mustardish type of flavor.
Okay.
Just trying to
Give me an
win
Arcana
some
check.
favor here.
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Oh, it's not great. 8.
Okay. She takes it through sheer bombast. She's like, oh. Okay, it doesn't know what it wants to be, but I still oddly kind of like it.
Sorry if that was too much.
No, it's just anything is better than nothing, and there's a reason, like I said, I like to not be like, I don't know. Here. she hands it off to the
overwhelmed
to the kind of to the blacksmith one where the honey mustard was just super intense.
My apologies. I not
more-
accustomed
more
to the
honey than
palates
mustard.
here.
More mustard
Is
than
he gonna
honey.
puke?
She's like, "Don't you dare!" And she snatches it back,
Swallow it.
and she kind of pops his mouth. And And then the die having been cast, she just decides screw it and starts and she catches your eyes.
The eye contact while she's devouring it.
Don't eat angry. Don't eat angry.
It's a particular experience.
You always make things taste so good.
I'm gonna have time.
She says, okay, well, I might have a little confession to make, but first, tell me a story, Farron, of Terra. Anything you like. It's kind of our currency here.
Sorry, I'm not a storyteller.
She'll tell her a folk tale from her childhood about, like, the two moons, how they were like, they represent two divided lovers or something along those lines.
Okay, we're making canon here.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
all right, so Lucida and Umbra are estranged or divinely separated, or
divinely separated.
Divinely
Hey, mountain.
separated lovers. Okay, got it.
There's a cave.
Make a performance roll.
Gosh, okay.
Umbra.
And I assume you're doing like gestures and sound
21.
effects. And 21. Okay.
Cool people.
Okay.
I understand that reference.
At first, people they're kind of still murmuring amongst themselves. They're eyeballing Gira. They're doing all of these. Things. Since Gira has been trying to build up a rapport, just roll again and see if you get higher. I'll count
That's a
them.
natural 20.
Wow. Okay. So
Thanks, Garrett.
So Gira, there are moments where your wry commentary, or the fact that you've already softened the ground by getting them to laugh a little bit, really shines through. And you see, Farron, at first you're like banging away at a 21, but as you get toward the end, and they're listening, you see Nicola and Laszlo's mother Kala and a couple others of them start leaning forward, and then by the end, all the rest of them, you have them
Eating out of the palm of my hand.
they're listening, and Nicola says, and they never got to become one again, ever. They're still like, I thought this whole time, because there's only one moon, there are two moons in Terra.
2 moons, and she...
Cheater, dirty, awful. Why do I get invested in these things? I don't know, Nikki. Why do you get invested in these things? Well, I don't know. I guess I'm a romantic at heart, and I kind of... Well, all right. Do you want a tale for a tale, or do you want my confession? You only get one.
I can't have both?
Well, that would take more persuasion, Farron.
She pulls out her little baggie of her little bundle.
Okay, but only if we share it.
Deal.
All right. Which do you want first?
Oh, the confession. We'll get to stories for fun later.
A woman after my own heart. And her friend Kala says, you don't have one. Well, shh, that's not part of this confession.
Oh, we have that in common, too.
Oh, a 2 for 1.
Well, you're pretty enough. So...
This is a woman, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But she's given off, like, brash energy.
Yeah.
Right now. And you've noticed since they're faint, but I mean, since you've been right next to her now for probably half an hour or something, and almost maybe longer, actually at this point longer, there are like a collection of faded scars all over her, not all at the same time, and not from the same weapons. Some are claws. Although one thing you do see, she's got like leather bracers, but higher up on her forearm, you do see like a pretty consistent, on both arms, like there have been these light slashes that have gone up and down her forearm.
It really strikes her because she doesn't see anything like that.
No, not at home.
That level of violence, and the fact that it wasn't just, even if you met that level of violence, wouldn't be immediately healed and taken care of, just kind of, it shakes her a little bit to think about the differences in their world when she sees that.
I knew you were coming.
Bullshit.
Wait, how? Wait, tell us.
I mean, aside from that, let me rephrase.
He's giving away too much of it.
I knew you were going to walk here. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. You're a hell of a storyteller. And I kind of like that a lot.
One of the only things I got from my dad.
Parental issues too, huh?
Oh, no. I'm very normal.
Of course. Yeah. No, it just comes screaming off of you. No, well, it wasn't me. It was, and she gestures toward the large, lit, colorful tent. But I knew that you were going to be Outwilders. I just didn't expect you to have so much life. It's kind of surprising to me. You're not the first I've run into. Not even the first chosen.
So what were the others like?
Well, I was a lot younger then. But, I don't know. There was a group. You don't play any instrument, do you?
Not really. Not well.
Well, you kind of remind me of their leader. Like I said, I was a lot younger then. I wasn't heading the crew at the time. But, what was his name? Kala says, Escher. She nods. That's right, Escher. Really pretty. Had one of those, how do you say it? Lyres or leers or whatever, kind of the harp thing. Flute, all of that. Beautiful voice. He was the character. The rest of them, though, were just kind of, I don't know, faded into the background. But you know how it is, like when there's I actually have seen the sun before, but not here. And when she says that, Sasha like perks up and really starts paying attention. And you notice now that Sasha was sketching along and giving you like visual aids to the moons and the cycles and everything that was happening. So there's this whole elaborate sketch in the dirt right now. And she says, "No, I just, all of you, like, I can tell you're people. I don't know, like, I kind of want to go to wherever you came from now, and I want to see what produced you, and, well, your story's not healthy." As she says, looking at Artexia, it's not healthy to pursue, I mean, here, for reasons. And I'd never seen a dwarf before, but now I have.
We in close proximity of all this?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, this is all,
Yeah, I was wondering
all around the fire.
if we were all hearing this.
There's wine around us right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're scanned, so you're well on your way now. And the other Vistani are just encouraging you, and they're drinking, and they're starting to kind of, as the shadows lengthen, and it gets dark very early here, obviously, and you've maybe spent more time than you originally thought. She says, "Yeah, I don't know. Either they're full of themselves or they're boring or whatever, but you've got something in you. I like it." But anyway, I mean, I was always going to direct you over to Madame Ava, but she's sleeping right now. She'll be awake when she's awake. Probably looks up at the sky. Probably close to dusk. You know that weird feeling when you like the places that you visit more than you like your own home?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, I thought you might.
But I can't, no offense, say that about this particular visit.
None taken. That's why I like to travel to Mist so much. Hold on, you sweet young thing. That is to say, you can just get up in one of these wagons, Morgathi says, and tootle right on Lou down the road out of these mists? Mm-hmm. We can. You can't. And why, pray tell, is that? Well, because a long time ago, some great grandmother of mine rendered, probably some more greats in there, rendered a service. Oh, right, this tale.
Yeah, Alinka gave us a taste back at the tavern.
Oh, right, she is kind of a blabbermouth. Well, did she tell you that The man up top used to be quite a general and conqueror. That he had he called his family. He's not originally from here either, you know.
No.
He called his whole family here. Named his castle Ravenloft after his mother. Ravenovia.
So he's a sentimental.
I wouldn't go that far.
Would you call him a man?
I would call him the Dread Lord and avoid him at all costs. But unfortunately, he's better disposed to the Vistani than pretty much anybody else. He lets us come and go. As we please. There are some exceptions, but pretty much. And since you told such a tale, I'll just tell you, our counterparts that are more or less permanently camped outside of Valaki, they're not so nice. Be careful if you go there.
Not so nice to anyone, or not so nice to us?
She looks pointedly over at Artexia. Not so nice.
I pull my cloak over at the exact moment to hide my ears.
Sasha very deliberately gets up from the ground where he was playing, and he sits down right on the other side of you. And she says, well, both. I mean, they're just more insular. They would have had bows drawn on you, for example, as he walked up on them. But more than that, I feel like we wander as we will. We're going to be here replenishing our fish stocks for a while, but then we're going to move on. They've just it's unnatural for a Vistani to be in one place forever. It's done something to them. I'm not here to question. I mean, they are still distant cousins of mine. They can do whatever they want, but I don't know. I would never live that way.
And the best way to earn their favor, or at least be ignored? She holds the baggie up again. She takes her goblet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Goes ahead and starts.
She says that probably would go some distance. Wine's always a favorite. Really good wine is always a favorite. Haven't you noticed? It's the only thing in these lands, in these lost lands, that actually has taste.
I'd say taste is a bit of a stretch, to be honest, but...
I don't suppose there's any good ales. This land.
You gonna be making some, Shorty?
I just might.
Okay, all right.
Too good for the wine. As hiccup.
There won't be any left for him if you don't watch it.
Just a different palate.
She says, now, I'm gonna tell this pretty much word for word from the guy that I got it from. So, apologies if it's not quite as colorful as I might like to make it. But I actually am interested in giving you the truth. You might have noticed that you came from Barovia Village, yeah?
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Not trying to pull the wool over my eyes. So you might know that it's corpse is barely cold on that little rebellion of the Mad Mages.
Seems that way.
So people are a little on edge right now, including the man up top there.
I look at Ismark just to see his reaction to the commentary.
He clenches his jaw, and because you remember, of course, that his sword's master mother was one of the people who attempted to rebel, and he thinks and Ismark thinks, a part of him thinks he should have gone and died with her instead of the current situation. Let's see, Kala, correct me if I'm wrong. She gets up and gives all of you an exaggerated bow and flourish. A mighty wizard came to this land over a year ago. I remember him like it was yesterday. He stood exactly where you're standing. You, right there. Believe it or not. A very charismatic man he was. He thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the devil Strahd. He stirred them with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle en masse. That means everybody at once for you dunderheads back there. Listen up. I don't care how deep, I don't care how many wineskins you've had. I'm telling a damn story. When the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. A few stood their ground and were never seen again. And now, because she's telling it a little tongue-in-cheek, and you hear a little coming from Ismark next to you. but she just blows on. The wizard and the vampire cast spells at each other. Their battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft to a precipice overlooking the falls, right about there. And she points up to where you see the distant bridge. I saw the battle with my own eyes. Well, he did anyway, but like I said, thunder shook the mountainside, and great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard, yet by his magic he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck the wizard, and again he stood his ground. But when the devil Strahd fell upon him, the wizard's magic couldn't save him. I see you, Laszlo. I'm going to fall upon you. Stop poking him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death. I climbed down to the river to search for the wizard's body, to see if he had anything of value. But the river Ivlis had already spirited him away. That, my friends, was the last that anybody saw of the Mad Mage. Actually, his timing is a little bit off. It really was just about a year ago, not over, that all this happened. Took the Mad Mage a little bit of time to, make the rounds. He made a go of it. I'll give him that. I didn't even know that Barovia had so many hidden chosen inside of it. But it did. It's quite a little collection, but in the end, it didn't do them any good. So imagine my surprise when our beloved Oracle says that she has business with you. I can only imagine that there are one or two things that she would give you an actual reading for. And outsiders, no offense, we just don't really do that. Not for real. I mean, we can tell them, you're going to meet a dark and handsome man at the next river bend, or whatever, and fleece him for a couple silver. But no, she was serious about it.
Well, that's a good sign, I suppose. I'm pretty serious about hearing what she has to say.
I bet. All right. Once I drink that, it's a one-way trip, huh? Fuck it.
Are we staying?
and she quaffs it.
Ah, bitch.
So we're staying here for the night?
I doubt we're going to want to travel any further.
It would appear so, Ismark says. And he gets up and he walks off.
I'm going to use subtle spell and send a message to Gira without anyone being able to tell. And I'm going to tell her...
Do you have sorcery points left?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Several, actually.
Several? Okay.
I'm going to tell her, keep him calm around these people. They're going to get under his skin.
So out of nowhere, you hear her voice in your mind, and you don't see any twitch or anything. Mm-hmm. You draw upon the power of your heritage, the power of the two moons, which is inside of you, even in this faraway land. And you substitute it for your physical hand in an act that honestly marks you as gifted. Very, very few people could do this. Even like powerful wizards at home would still have to make some kind of gesture, but you can just do it sometimes. Okay. And she says, well, I suppose you people should be getting some kind of sleep while you can, huh? Whenever Madame Ava wakes up is when she wakes up, and you're going to want to be hopping too. You're welcome to bed down by the river if you want. I don't know. I know it's still early yet, but I feel like I want to continue this conversation with you. I'm really fascinated. You could tell me about your world. I could tell you a little bit about what I've heard. And one of the other men pops up. Yeah, I want to hear about it. That's not happening.
You're not invited.
She gets up, and unless you stop her, she laces her fingers in with yours boldly and starts walking towards one of the wagons.
What made her move?
She does take her hand back, but immediately smiles and tries to seem amiable, so it's not like a complete rejection, but she's not comfortable with any physical contact like that.
Nicola glances over her shoulder and looks at you pointedly, and then walks off to the nearest wagon. You two. Looks back at the steps of the wagon and then goes in and waits.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
I look around for a fire. Is there a fire in the room?
Oh yeah, no, you're around this, like, it's low right now, the campfire, but it is. But
Oh, so we're not in a room where the campfire is?
Yeah.
We're outside.
I thought we were inside one of the houses at that.
No, that's fair.
They're there, but
I'm gonna pass this around. And
we're just outside at the
There's
fire.
like tents and carts and stuff like that.
Yep.
I follow his mark.
Okay. Okay, well then, yes, I will silently bid y'all adieu, turn into my little kitty cat, and go take a nap while you guys go and do all that. Because now I am significantly drunk, very full.
Now I'm a drunk cat.
And now I'm watching so much flirting, and I don't want to. So I'm going to sleep.
That's fair. And basically everyone leaves him alone. And
Hero will follow Ismark, especially after noticing Durgan and getting the message, because it's basically kind of confirming her own suspicions about some stuff.
Okay, so the two of you go off with him. Morgathi catches your eyes and nods, looks down at her, looks down at Sasha, and just like, yeah, I got them. And he has said remarkably little this whole time. He's really keeping his powder dry and just watching. Hand still, it's resting now, but it's fully resting, but it's still just on top of his hilt the whole time, just ready to explode. As he sees you go off with your leader, though, finally he relaxes a tick.
Real quick, can Gira respond to the message?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're gonna hear
It's
back.
like a brief response, but yes.
Yeah, brief. Maybe find out if we can understand what they don't like about elves.
She hears, but she doesn't
Yeah. Okay.
say or react in any way.
Right.
So
Okay. So the two of you catch up with Ismark, and he walks. He doesn't just wander off into the woods, but he walks, and for the first time, as Sasha had started to come along, you hear Ismark dismiss him, and there's kind of a hurt expression on his little brother's face, but he does stay. And Ismark is off at the side, staring out into the woods right now, kind of a clenched jaw, as the two of you come up.
How's the leg?
Hmm?
The leg? How's the leg?
Like crap. It's a funny little tale, huh? I'm glad that this Nicola's amused by the death of everyone that I love. My way of life, our way of life. What she so casually bandies about was the destruction of my people, effectively. Yes, we were fools to raise our hands against them. What else were we going to do? It looked like that mad mage actually had a chance. Damn him. And damn me for not going.
Yes, Mark. I've never actually been a parent myself, but I can tell you, everything I've watched, even recently back in your own village, sometimes parents will do whatever it takes to make sure that their children are able to keep going, to survive.
The ones that care, anyway.
And you have a chance here to take care of your little brother. I can't imagine that your mother would want it any other way.
By the sound of who your parents were, they were not the kind of parents who wanted to see you die. Maybe that was their selfish choice.
How do you read my mind?
Maybe we are not that different.
I've had a terrible thought, Gira. Along those lines. He looks back at his brother. There's a part of me that wishes that that it was over. And then I think the kind of betrayal that would be, and then I'm sick to myself all over again. How can I be that weak, that feckless?
That is not weakness.
If that isn't weakness, what is? What is? He looks back, a couple of heads kind of popped up when he just gives them a look like he's looking at something that repulses him. These people don't have a care in the world. But it's not them that I'm disgusted with. It's myself.
And that is the poison that can claim you or you can free yourself from. You create your own hell when you keep your mind in that place.
He starts kind of rocking a little bit and looking out, now actually paying some attention to the lake. So many of them. My sister's name, it was Irina. She was a lot more like Sasha. She died, though. It wasn't during the uprising. A fever took her. I don't even know why I'm telling you that. Just that house used to have a lot more people in it, you know? And all of that, all of those struggles, all of those decisions, all of that angst, all of that pain, all of those chances, all of it it's ashes in my mouth now. It's nothing. They're all dead. They're all dead, and in a few paltry winters, no one is even going to remember that they existed. And I am Ismark the Lesser. Your sharp-tongued companion was right when she called me that.
Yes, Mark. I believe in a power that is greater than this. This fake ruler of this land. And you know I believe it. And you know that I can bring part of it with me sometimes.
I cannot dispute that, nor would want to, even if I could.
Listen to me, lad. There is a place beyond these lands, beyond these mists. And your family is in a place that I truly believe is surrounding them with warmth and happiness. And the only thing that they would want for you is for you to be able to live your life as long as you can, the best that you can. Because we're going to be tested.
I've noticed, Durgan.
I know that it's hard. And no one wants to live in times or places like this.
Perhaps that is what is the problem. The place. These people do not have sunrises.
I know.
I have not seen a single flower.
Yet I feel like there's a reason that I'm here. I can't speak for everyone and how they feel, but where I was, my skills they weren't really needed. Here. By God, I will bring it here. By Lathander's light, I will bring it to this land.
Forgive me, Durgan. I don't mean to be ungrateful, but would's the gods that you not be needed? He turns back around and looks at the camp.
All I'm saying, lad, is that there's hope even in the darkest places and the darkest hour. And you're not the lesser of anything.
I think I understand something that I didn't understand earlier. You are in this place in your mind because you have not let go.
What do you mean?
Did you grieve? Truly. Your mother, your sister, your father.
How could I?
Where do you believe they are?
I don't know. I don't know.
That is the problem. You need to believe that they are in a place where they are at peace. You are not at peace because everything is fucked up. This place is twisted. The dead walk. But beyond those clouds that block the sky, there are stars. There is a moon, there is a sun. There are sunrises here. But that curse on this land just means you can't see them. That doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that the stars do not exist. That the sunrise is non-existent. It is here. Not in some other land that we came from.
I'm trying to tell you, Gira. I don't know that. And he starts walking kind of away, just blindly.
Ismark. One moment.
He keeps walking. He's walking along the river now.
It's gonna take time. And that boy's been through a hell of a lot.
He's been through everything.
We're gonna need to keep him from giving up his life before it's due.
You think that just this morning you put his father in the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In that moment, I'm going to come up because I'm annoyed, a little kitty cat, and I'm going to come up to Sasha. I'm going to like circle around his leg and like lead him over to where I was laying down and be like, because I'm cold, I'm over here away from the fire. And I'm like, I signal him to come and lay down too.
Okay. He comes.
I'm starting to like Sasha now.
He comes and
Little baby.
he gratefully curls around you, and then you see, Kitty. Here we are, and here is sister, and here is brother, and he starts just drawing them like expertly, with some pure intuition. And it's sad, but I'm glad I have a pretty kitty friend, and here we are. And oh no. And Finny has finally managed to snatch when everyone was away.
No!
And everyone's guard was down. And now his little halfling legs are running around.
Ah!
Oh, there we go.
And some of them are too drunk to really respond. One of the ones who are on guard is like, he jumps up. What the hell? That's really funny. Okay. He's running around and he tries to jump off of the back of one of these wagons and pounce on Finny. And then there's as he whips it around like a worm or a whip, or some kind of lasso, and then finally vanishes, runs behind one of the wagons, then vanishes.
Naughty.
Wait, Finny vanished or the thing he was holding vanished?
Finny vanished behind one of the wagons.
Not again.
He's good at that.
He's good at that. All right. There's a little bit of disruption in the camp, but eventually things settle back down. And you see the locked-in accordion where, like, it has the latch to it. It's locked in, and Finny has deposited it as a present at the feet of the little boy of Laszlo. And given it to him. And the note, the literal and emotional note, was like so sudden and bizarre that Vinny kind of story. He rolled a nat 20 on his BS roll. So,
Well, there you go.
so he's performing. He's on his performance check, on his brat performance check. So they kind of just shrug it off and let him get away with it, which of course encourages further outbursts and thefts. All right, so you're sleeping. Farron, you're having some adult time, and casual.
Nothing weird. We're just talking.
Sure, of course. And you did drink. You did drink from it as well, right? So everything starts feeling a lot better and a lot sweeter, and you feel like you can actually be inside of your body and inhabit it without pain right now.
Just for a little bit.
Because of the sweet black of Thodoliv, the spice.
It's one of my favorite colors.
Yeah, there you go. I won't go into it, but Nicola does whisper into your ear that there's a spice for red. It's really nice, especially with women. So she introduces you to a new kind of spice called agros.
Oh, great. I'm sure that's wonderful spice.
It's a glossy red. So there's actually is red and black spice.
Amazing.
Okay, so night begins to, this early night begins to fall. Durgan and Agira, you're kind of the most functional out of your group right now, aside from Morgathi. Morgathi's just holding the center, making sure that she doesn't get snatched as a cat.
Yeah, I'd probably go sit next to Morgathi if he's still in the same place.
Okay. He's finally slid off of one of the logs and has his back to it, but he's still just kind of watching things. Gira, where do you post up?
She's actually a little restless after the conversation with Ismark.
Didn't go well.
It didn't. And she knows that, and she's trying desperately to find something almost like an analogy kind of thing. Mm. So, she's kind of the idea of like, if you can't see something, maybe you can feel it. Or like if you hide a light or something under a bucket, you can still feel the heat. She's trying to find something.
Yeah.
Like
No.
That.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because she's not ready to give up. But she's starting to understand how easy it is for people who have grown up in
this is his
place
life. Yeah, this is life.
to not quite understand that there are still good things.
Kind of the burly...
And that is part of the fight. So she's trying to find some way to explain that.
As you're restless and kind of... imagine her like pacing almost the camp. Like,
she's also probably trying to prove that to herself, too.
Making...
In this place.
Of course.
It's the same kind of argument.
The last roll we'll make for the session, if you want, is the dowdy blacksmith-looking guy with the beard solidarity. He catches your eyes. He drags what looks like a cut stump, but it's lacquered, and so it looks naturalistic, but he actually heaves it out of one of the wagons, which is saying something, and just kind of casually hefts it, and then
Nice.
Well, she's not sitting down. She's not calm, so absolutely. She's like, I can't think of anything else
all right
now.
So you start going around with this brute of a man.
Yep.
Make an athletics check.
Come on, Gira. Knock him.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's a
Dirty 20.
there's a serious showing as you lock up, but this guy's technique, he's powerful, but his technique is perfect, and he gets just a slight twist and inline on you, and you can never and you just slowly see him taking you down, and you try a couple different tactics, but he's obviously, you get the sense that this is part of how they make money. on the road. And he slowly, it comes down, and like that, the light dims. You are now in darkness, and you hear a stirring from within the tent. All right, get your asses in here. And that, friends,
I like her already.
Oracle.
is where we will pause the tale.
Amazing.
As Madame Ava invites you in her gracious way into her space.
Perfect.
All right, faraway friends, thank you so much. I hope that you got some insights into these characters, and as we continue our little character study in Barovia, we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.
Straight out. Straight up straight.